Good morning. Welcome to Children's Worship. It is a beautiful morning. And today we are focusing on what does it mean to be called to use our healing powers as Unitarian Universalists. So it's part of being the church, which is this month's worship theme. And so we'll begin with a well-known song, which is This Little Light of Mine, because our light shining out into the world is one way that we offer healing everywhere we go. Are you ready? Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up a world, building up our world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up our world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up our world, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. How about, don't let anyone blow it out, I'm gonna let it shine. Don't let anyone blow it out, I'm gonna let it shine. Don't let anyone it out, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. So good. This morning, we have Magical and her mom, Whitney, who are going to help us light the chalice, and here they are.
Okay. It's okay. All right, you ready? Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in online community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift.
For our mindfulness practice today, Madrigal and her mom are going to teach us a practice of just paying attention to that web of life and our connection to it everywhere we go. That has healing power. Here they are.
When we think about mindfulness practice, we might think about the kinds of things that we do where we are noticing what's happening inside our bodies. Like we take breaths and we notice the breath. And we can add a layer of gratitude to that. We can say, thank you, lungs, for pulling air into my body because that keeps me alive and that's an amazing gift. But today, what Madrigal and I are going to do is we're going to talk about a practice for mindfulness that involves noticing and having gratitude for things outside of our bodies.
Like this walnut.
Yeah, so we are going to take a walk to Madrigal's favorite tree, which she has named Goldie. And we are going to show you how we do our mindfulness practice with Goldie, and you can join in with us. See you there. All right, we're almost to Madrigal's favorite tree.
Goldie.
Yes, we call this tree Goldie. So what do you notice about this tree? If we stop and look at it right here, think about what sorts of things you notice about the tree. What do you notice about the tree from here, Madrigal?
There's golden moss, and some of the leaves are golden.
Yeah, there's like a mix of red and green leaves.
And golden leaves.
And golden ones. So what I'll show next is the first thing that Madrigal and I noticed about this tree. And I'm wondering if you notice it too. What do you notice right here? What's interesting about this? What do you think, Madrigal? What did we
Red
notice?
seeds.
Yeah.
And it also has red branches.
Yeah, so the seeds and the branches are red, but the leaves
Are green.
are green. At least the back sides of the leaves are green.
Other side, purple.
But if you go on the other side,
They're
the
purple.
leaves look purple.
And from this side, they look golden.
Yes. So there's so many things to notice about the tree. Let's see what we notice with our ears. What do we notice with our ears?
The branches swaying.
Yeah,
And
there's
the birds chirping.
yeah, so we can hear the leaves, the wind rushing through the leaves, and we can hear birds chirping. There's so many things to notice about it. And of course, when we notice things, we can also be grateful for them. So what do we do when we pass Goldie? Every time we pass Goldie on our walk, what do we say to Goldie?
Hello.
We say hello, and we say, thank you, Goldie. Thank you for being. Thank you for being beautiful. Right? And we can say that about so many things. When you go outside, you can notice, what did we notice on our walk here? We noticed
A chipmunk.
a chipmunk.
And it noticed us.
It noticed us too. That's right, Maddie.
Before you noticed
Before
it.
I noticed it, Maddie noticed the chipmunk noticed us, and then I noticed the chipmunk. That's right. And we noticed squirrels, we noticed a dead worm, right? But even that's something that we can say thank you for, right? Because the worms, they help make the soil good, right? So we can thank the worm for having done that to the soil. So what I think is really cool about this kind of noticing practice, especially when you add gratitude to it, is that scientists have actually shown that if you make that kind of gratitude a regular practice, so every time you go on a walk, you can notice something and say, thank you for being. If you make that a regular practice, it actually can help you be a healthier and happier person. And I think that's really cool. Well, thanks for joining us on our mindfulness walk. Bye.
For a moment of inquiry today, I had a question for you. Our focus today is on healing power. And so my question for you to discuss with your family is, who or what has healing power? Is it the power of things in themselves that are healing? Is it the power of people who bless things that are healing? Or is it a combination? So I took the different kinds of water that were in my bedroom, and I thought that would be a good exercise to do. Maybe you could look at the water in your house or in your own bedroom and see, is this water being healing on its own, or is it because I give it some kind of healing power, like a priest or a priestess would? I don't know. So in my bedroom, there's my contact lens solution. Here's one of our favorites. It's the mindfulness jar. Does the water in the mindfulness jar have healing power? Is it our power that makes it healing? How about this? My water bottle. Water in itself, especially in the heat that we have going on, does water itself have healing power? Well, scientifically, our bodies need water for life, and life is a gift. Here's another one that was in my room, some wildflowers that I picked. So the water in this vase is allowing these flowers to continue to live. And the last one might be the trickiest one. So this is a special kind of container, and it has water in it, and it says sisters on it. So this is from my best friend, and we did a little ritual so we would always be sisters, kind of like our chosen family. And we did a ritual, and this is water from the lake I used to live near. And I keep this near to me wherever I go, wherever I live. And does it have healing power? Is it the power of the water in here itself? Or is it the power of our friendship and the love and respect we have that makes this water sacred to me? I'll let you think about that and wonder about it in your heart, because our story today is this interesting mix between the healing powers that people have and the healing powers of things. And to tell our story, we have Olin and Hannah, and this is a Cherokee tale called The First Strawberries. Long ago, when the world was new, man and woman were formed by the Creator, and they were formed with equity, so that neither one of them was greater than the other. One day, the woman was out picking flowers for her husband and their table. And her husband came home, and he said, "I'm hungry. Do you expect me to eat flowers?"
I'm hungry. Do you expect me to eat flowers?
The woman was like, "I was picking them for us.
I was picking them for us.
Your words hurt me. I will leave."
Your words hurt me. I will leave.
And so it was that she turned her back and she began walking towards the west. Now the man was very sorry. He ran after her as fast as he could. But it wasn't fast enough. She kept going onward. And he kept following her as fast as he could, but he could not catch up with her. And finally, so it was, he called out to her. He shouted, but still she could not hear him, and she kept walking. The sun had pity on the man. He could see that the man was no longer angry and actually checked in with him and said, "Are you still angry at your wife?"
No.
"No." He said, "I made a mistake. I spoke harshly to her. I can't catch her though. She's running so fast in front of me."
I made a mistake. I spoke so harshly, but I can't catch up to her. She's running so quickly ahead of me.
Well, the sun had compassion on the man, and so it was that the sun began to shine its rays in front of the woman. And the first thing the sun did was shine on the ground before her, and there the sun made raspberries. The woman was traveling so fast, and she was so in anger that she did not notice them. "Oh," the sun said, "I have to stay with her." And so the sun again started to try to stop the woman, and again showed on the ground its rays. And still, even though that there were blackberries that were growing there in the hedge just beside her, still she did not notice, and she kept traveling. A third time, the sun tried again, this time making luscious blueberries at the right at the edge of the grass where she was walking. And though she gazed a little bit to the side, she was still so angry at her husband, she did not stop. But the sun did not give up, because the man was close behind her, and he thought, if I could just make her stop. And so the sun shone down one more time. And this time made beautiful strawberries right at her feet. And of course, the woman stopped. She held one in her hand and she tasted it because she had never had one before. Oh my. The taste was more delicious than anything she'd ever had. And it made her think of the sweetness of her relationship with her husband. And as she sat picking up the strawberries into her basket, he finally was able to catch up to her. "Oh, forgive me for my harsh words," he said.
Forgive me for my harsh words.
And in an answer, she gave him a strawberry and fed it to him. And together they laughed and enjoyed their meal together, both kindness and respect for one another. And that is the end of our story. So I'm wondering what you think this story has to teach or remind us about, either about being the church or about using our healing powers, right? So I'll let you write that in the chat. One of the things that this story has to teach or remind me about, of course, is that our words and our tone can hurt someone else very deeply, maybe in ways that we don't even imagine it could. The other thing for me is that if we do hurt someone with our words or our actions, that we are accountable to them, that we pursue the person and be able to acknowledge, I hurt you by using this kind of language, and I'm sorry, and here's what I will do differently, right? The third thing that it reminds or teaches me about is that being the church and using our healing powers are both about mutual respect and friendship, right? To have that mutual equity. Like in the beginning of the story, it says that the Creator made these two people in an equitable relationship, right? So this kind of equity, this kind of mutuality of power is really important in relationships. And it means that we give each other respect and we act out of that respect. Whether you're 5 or you're 105, this is true. It is still true that powerful healing relationships rely on this return to respect and equity. Another thing in the story is about this stopping to notice the sweetness. Sometimes in our anger and our frustration with other people, we don't always notice the gifts that are right there at our feet and right beside us, right? So this story reminds us that when we are in a fury and in anger, it's really hard to pay attention to the good and the beautiful and the delicious things around us. And so it's a reminder that those things are there. Yeah, and to pay mindful attention, just like Magical and her mom. Those things are there. Yes. And one of the other things in the story for me, which I find kind of fascinating, is the role of the son. The son was an upstander in the situation, in that the son did not just simply let it go on, but tried to do whatever it could within its powers to help heal or to offer a space where others could heal. Sometimes we can be a force of healing for other people to heal. Yeah, and that's an important force, to be able to be present to that harm and to not just sit there and be on the sideline and say, oh, whatever. And the really cool thing about the story, which I love, is that we have this ongoing reminder that our lives are full of this healing, right? And as we go on in time, we have more and more reminders of how much we're loved and how much we are forgiven, right? It's not always neat and clean. It's a lot of times it's messy, life is. For our family connection today, I would offer you two things. One from our story, which is maybe you have a strawberry communion, right? You have a strawberry communion and you celebrate this story, and maybe talk about, how does forgiveness happen in your family? Is it just saying I'm sorry, or is it saying and doing I'm sorry? Maybe as a family, you could share about the ways that you feel grateful that people have both said and done their sorries. Yeah. And the other thing is really about something you could do, and that is to play some I Spy kind of during your week, because first of all, I spy about all the beautiful things around us that make us pause and realize the wholeness in the world. Yep. So like the woman paused and noticed the strawberries, or Madrigal pauses and notices this beautiful tree. So is there some practice you could do that would help you to pause and just take in the beautiful gifts of nature, or the beautiful gifts of a relationship you have? And part of that could also be that I spy the healing power around you. So maybe when you have a meal together, your strawberry meal or your other meals, maybe you could name some of the ways that people in your family have healing power. All of us have healing power all the time, and it's a matter of how we use it in the world. And one of the cool things about a family is that you can really acknowledge when other people are using their healing power for you and for the family. I know my family has a lot of healing power. Does yours? And what is it? You can figure it out. You can give witness to that power. So that would be my wish for you, for your family this week. So much in the story we can celebrate as families. So to close our worship today, we're going to be singing a Shaker tune. The Shakers were a religious group that's no longer in existence, but this little chant is something I remember from a long time ago, and I'll teach it to you. It begins with "Love is little." It's a song about humility. So when we make a mistake or we're out of relationship, we can come back to relationship. Okay, here we go. Love is little, love is low, love will make my spirit grow. Good. Grow in peace, grow in light, love will do the thing that's right. Good, let's try it again. Here we go. Love is little, love is low, love will make my spirit grow. Grow in peace, grow in light, love will do the thing that's right. One more time, and this time let's not sing and just do movements as big as you want to. Here we go. Great. Big love from church. We'll see you next time. Bye now.